Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is a new episode of the Right Info podcast show with your host, King Twan speaking. And tonight I would like to talk about the one place in the city that I love to visit. Yes, I am a resident of the city of Chicago, born and bred here since May 2nd, 1976. And yes, I have lived here all my life, haven't lived anywhere else, nowhere else. So let's get started. Hope everybody's enjoying this wonderful, nice, warm Monday evening. Yes, today is the first day of school for the City of Chicago children, and I'm sure that they're all enjoying their first day. I know they miss summer, but hey, there's a time to have fun and there's a time to hit the books and get your education on. So, with that being said, let me get started with this podcast, and it's called the most wonderful place or one place in the city that I would love to visit. Now, I've visited a lot of places in the city of Chicago over the years. As long as I've lived here, I don't have any specific place, but there are some places I like to visit, like the park, museums, libraries, the lakefront, downtown area, those type of places. I like to go and see things. Sometimes I might wind up buying something. Depends on how I feel. But, like I said, there are places I like to visit. There is one place sometimes I like to visit. Either the zoo. We have two zoos here in the city, Lincoln Park Zoo and Brookfield Zoo. I haven't been to either one in quite some time. But the one place that I love to visit is our Museum of Science and Industry. That's here in the city of Chicago's Hyde Park neighborhood off the lakefront. It's one of the greatest places to me to visit, and I try to get there as much as I can to go see what's going on, to check out the new exhibits. There's a lot of exhibits there. But we do have other museums here like Field Museum, Adler Planetarium, the Chicago History Museum, those places. I love to visit those places too. But I say the Museum of Science and Industry because it offers a whole lot. Like, for example, we have Christmas Around the World that's had been created back then to celebrate what Christmas is like celebrating around the world. That's an exhibit at the Museum of Science and Industry. Another one is my all-time favorite, the U-505 submarine that we captured back during World War II, back in 1944. It was a German submarine, and to this very day, it still rests at the Museum of Science and Industry. It was brought here across country to the museum a long time ago. Not too long, but I just say some years back, 15, 20-some years ago. And that is one exhibit like most World War II veterans would like to visit. Now, another part of the museum I like to visit is the big heart area. It's a big model of the heart that you can just walk through and see what the heart looks like. I mean, the inside, the outside, the aorta, the all the other parts of the heart. I mean, I know my parts of the heart. I'm just sitting here giving a podcast, don't have time to look it up and see the parts of the heart. But I did walk through that exhibit, through that model some years back. And it was really interesting. I mean, I learned a lot about the heart. And the museum, they have lots of concession stands, mostly statues of various people, exhibits. Now, they don't really have dinosaurs. Well, some dinosaurs, but the main dinosaur is Sue that they have at the Field Museum. That tall skeletal version of well, it's not a version, but it actually is a skeletal version of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. The real Sue Tyrannosaurus Rex model. It's not a model, it's actually the skeleton of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Sue, that's her name. Now, another thing about the museum, you can walk through the colonnades, through the park area, and with this large, recognizable dome that shines off the lakefront, it's easy view. It's very easy to spot. Everybody sees it, everybody likes it, and the museum just offers a lot. They have great exhibits, wonderful food. I mean, their concession stands are great. I mean, the burgers, the pizza, the hot dogs, the fries, popcorn, you name it, they got it. There are some museums that have that, but the Museum of Science and Industry, MSI for short, you know, they have that sort of thing. And I haven't been there in a long while, and maybe someday I might stop off there, pay a little visit. You know, it's in my neck of the woods, so it's really not that far from where I'm at, and it's something to go to. I can learn a lot. You can learn a lot. Anybody can learn a lot, no matter what. And this is just an experience that I love. I've been going to the museum since I was little, and yes, I am up in age right now. I still make a chance to go to the museum, or I know this may sound a little silly, but I go to libraries as well because I love reading. I love writing. I'm a blog writer and a podcast host, so all my writing, I don't mean to get off the subject of what my favorite place in the city to go, but I'm just giving a little description of what I do very much for a living on my spare time. Who knows? I might do a podcast or write a blog about other places that I visited or like to visit here in the city. And I think I did that. No, I believe that was a podcast, or no, a blog that I wrote about my favorite place in the world I would love to visit. And that would be Paris. I love Paris a lot. The city of lights, the city of love, the main capital of France. And, it's just so much there. But not getting off the subject of my place here as far as liking the museum, it's somewhere to go. People can learn a lot of things. They can take their children on weekends, on holidays, on specific days off or whatever. Give them the education that they need to learn about Chicago's history, world history, nation's history. It's all at the museum. Not only at that museum, but at other museums as well. And, you learn a lot. And, this is just a short podcast. I just wanted to give a full description of what I like in the city to visit, where I like to go visit, not what is what I want to see, where is where I want to go, and where I like to go. And the Museum of Science and Industry is my favorite place. I go there whenever I can. I haven't been there such a long time and plan on going there again someday in the near future if I have the time. And with that being said, I just want to give this short little description, podcast, if you want to call it, which it really is, of what I like to do or where I like to go. My most famous place in the world. Like I said, in the city. There are more places in the city I like to visit, but the MSI is like where I like to go, and I will be doing that, more traveling, during this year. I'll try to get in as much as I can whenever I can. So, with that being said, I'd like to end this podcast on a positive note. Hope everybody enjoys this, or what I like to do, or where I like to go in the city. Like I said, there's a lot of places I like to visit, and I hope to go there pretty soon to do podcasts on them or write blogs on them beforehand. So I say to all, good night. Hope you all have a wonderful Monday. Hope the kids enjoyed the first day of school. And I will be delivering another podcast pretty soon. This is the end of the Right Info Podcast Show with your host, Kane Twan speaking. And I say good night. So long. Love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.